Welcome to Big Day of Giving 2023 orientation. Note that in the description below we have dropped some helpful links to things such as the registration page, the Big Day of Giving 2023 calendar, the Nonprofit Resource Toolkit, and the link to these slides and the transcript for this presentation. We want to thank Western Health Advantage, who has come back again as our lead sponsor. We are so grateful for all they do to make Big Day of Giving possible. Only with the help of community partners like Western Health could we facilitate this region-wide philanthropic effort each year, so thank you to their team there. This orientation is specifically for new organizations and/or new team members on returning organization staff or volunteers. All are welcome to watch it, but there is an orientation available for team leads and staff who have participated in Big Day of Giving in past years that might not need the same level of information. I'm Monica Hallman, Program Manager, here with my colleague Vasey Koman, Marketing Director, and we will be your guides through today's presentation as well as your contacts on the Big Day of Giving team at the Sacramento Region Community Foundation, the organization that coordinates Big Day of Giving.
Thanks, Monica. So first, we'll tell you a little bit about us. The Sacramento Region Community Foundation is a local nonprofit that has run Big Day of Giving for 10 years as part of our initiative to strengthen the capital area by strengthening our nonprofit sector. We do that by supporting local nonprofits like yours to be most effective, and by working with individuals, families, and businesses to grow their charitable giving and the impact of their philanthropy in the Sacramento region, so we can all live in a more vibrant, more equitable community. To learn more about our philanthropic services, including nonprofit endowments and other charitable funds, to learn about our community leadership initiatives, and to register to be alerted of future grant opportunities that might be relevant to your work, I invite you to visit our website at sacregcf.org. So, in a nutshell, Big Day of Giving is a 24-hour online giving event spanning El Dorado, Placer, Sacramento, and Yolo counties that empowers donors to support local nonprofits via one easy-to-use website. Donations made on the website are tallied in real time, creating an energy and an excitement that spurs generosity and community pride. Now, Big Day of Giving 2023 will run from midnight to 11:59 p.m. on Thursday, May 4th. Though some features will be available in advance of May 4th, like early giving, which Monica will explain later, the fun and excitement is truly laser focused on that actual 24-hour giving day. So between now and then, organizations like yours that choose to participate will build or update their profiles on GivingEdge, which is the Big Day of Giving website. Having all of those profiles in one searchable place makes it easy for donors to discover and give to local nonprofits all in one centralized hub on May 4th. Now together, we rally the community to give on Big Day of Giving by working in tandem. On our team, we execute a marketing campaign that spans the region. We also provide you a marketing toolkit and relevant training opportunities so you can build excitement with your audiences too. And that's how, together, we encourage folks to give on Big Day of Giving. And hey, it's a strategy that's worked. Over the past 10 years, thanks to nonprofit partners' efforts and local donors' generosity, our community has raised $78 million for over 700 local nonprofits during Big Day of Giving. And Big Day of Giving 2022 was the biggest yet. It was an incredible and inspiring and fun 24 hours. And if you'd like to learn more about Big Day of Giving 2022 or any of our past giving days, please look for our annual post-event reports, often called our reports to the community, which are available on our website. But participating in Big Day of Giving is about more than those aggregate headline numbers we see every year. For you and for your organization, it's an important opportunity to raise unrestricted funds, of course. It's also an opportunity to build your nonprofit's capacity in other ways, especially if you take advantage of the resources and trainings we offer. You can strengthen your donor relations, your board engagement, and your storytelling and marketing skills. It's an opportunity to meet and collaborate with staff and volunteers from other organizations, to build ties and community within our sector by connecting with one another. It's also an opportunity to connect with your donors and engage new ones, because Big Day of Giving is about putting nonprofits front and center in the region, so your work is elevated during those 24 hours and throughout the rest of the year too. We also want to take a moment before we move too far along to clarify the difference between GivingEdge and Big Day of Giving, because we know it can sometimes be unclear to folks who haven't worked with us before. GivingEdge is the year-round website that powers Big Day of Giving, and Big Day of Giving is the annual 24-hour fundraising event that happens on GivingEdge. GivingEdge is a pretty cool community resource. It's a database where donors can go and learn about giving to nonprofits that serve the Sacramento region. You use GivingEdge to create and update a GivingEdge profile that informs the community about your work and collects donations. And it does that year-round and on Big Day of Giving. GivingEdge is accessible from 2 web addresses. This is where it can get confusing for folks, and we totally understand. Both bigdayofgiving.org and givingedge.org take you to GivingEdge. It's the same website. The main address that people use is bigdayofgiving.org, which is absolutely fine. It's definitely the better known brand. It'll get you where you want to go. Just know that when we say GivingEdge, we're referring to the website. When we say Big Day of Giving, we're referring to the once annual giving event on that website.
So how do you register? The deadline to complete the first registration step for Big Day of Giving 2023 is January 9th, and we will go over what that entails here. In order to be eligible to participate, organizations must be a 501c3 nonprofit in good standing with the IRS and the state of California that is based and served the residents of El Dorado, Placer, Sacramento, and/or Yolo counties. We also require that organizations have at least 2 years of financials with either a 990, a 990EZ, or a 990N. Those who file 990Ns will be required to complete additional financial statement forms that we will provide due to the fact that 990N tax documents do not provide as much information. We do allow fiscal sponsorships as long as the sponsoring organization meets all of the same financial criteria. If you're not sure about your fiscal sponsor, just ask. Organizations that are not eligible to participate include schools, school affiliate groups, houses of worship, governmental organizations, private foundations, support organizations, and public safety organizations. Again, if you aren't sure if you are eligible, just ask and we are happy to help.
If your organization is eligible to have a profile on GivingEdge, you can register it for Big Day of Giving. If your organization already has a GivingEdge profile, visit bigdayofgiving.org/bdog2023 and click Register. Fill out the registration form and pay your organization's fee. Then start working on your GivingEdge profile edits and submit them for approval. Note the deadline for registration is January 9th, and the deadline to submit your initial profile edits is January 30th, unless you'd like your organization to be eligible for our annual Early Dog Prize, in which case you should submit your initial profile edits by January 9th. We'll share more information about that in a few minutes. If your organization does not yet have a GivingEdge profile, you first must request and be approved for one. Visit bigdayofgiving.org and scroll to where it says Build a Profile for your nonprofit. Then click the button that says Build, then request a profile, and fill out the form that appears. After we've determined that your organization is eligible for a GivingEdge profile, we'll send you instructions to access your account. After that, Visit bigdavegiving.org/bdog23 and click Register to fill out the registration form and pay the registration fee. Then begin working on your organization's GivingEdge profile. Note that the deadlines for organizations creating new profiles are the same as for those organizations that already have GivingEdge profiles. As we mentioned, when you register, you'll be prompted to pay your organization's registration fee with a credit card, and you'll immediately be emailed a receipt. These fees help us manage the fundraising event and website, as well as provide trainings, networking events, and other resources to organizations participating in Big Day of Giving. The registration fee amounts are listed here. They are on a sliding scale based on the size of your organization's annual operating budget. And we'd like to give a shout out to Shep Heroes for this cute photo.
During registration, you will also be asked to assign someone who will lead your campaign for your organization. It could be you. This person should stay up to date on important changes, deadlines, and upcoming events via our regular e-newsletter, The Bark, and in the Facebook Learning community, links to which you can find in the description below this video, keeping the rest of your team informed on important information as needed. This person will also serve as the lead contact for your organization in communications with our team at the Sacramento Region Community Foundation. Because there are hundreds of organizations that participate in Big Day of Giving, and because we are a very small team, these lead contacts allow us to more efficiently communicate with all participants instead of having to contact multiple people at each organization. Once you submit your profile for review, our GivingEdge coaches Jessica and Morgan will review your edits and contact your organization's team captain if additional changes or updates are required. Jessica and Morgan are also available for one-on-one check-ins in December and January if you are having trouble creating your profile. If you'd like additional help navigating the GivingEdge system, we also have a separate video that shows a brief walkthrough of the platform and how to edit and submit your profile for review. The link to this video will be in the description below. Although the deadline to complete your to-do list and submit your initial edits for review is January 30th, we want to encourage you to do this as early as possible. Submitting your nonprofit's GivingEdge profile early helps give the GivingEdge coaches more time to review your profile and provide you faster feedback to help you with your edits. To sweeten the pot and encourage nonprofits to submit their profiles early, we have the Early Dog Prize. The Early Dog Prize is awarded to 10 organizations that submit their profiles by January 9th. Note that this is the same day that registration closes, but 3 weeks before you officially have to submit your profile to register for Big Day of Giving. All organizations that submit their profile edits fully complete to the best of their ability by this deadline will be entered into this drawing. Winners will receive $500 prize toward their BDOG campaign. Because updating and creating your GivingEdge profile are a required part of participating in Big Day of Giving, you will want to make sure that you pay attention to these important deadlines. January 9th is the deadline to submit your initial profile if you want to be eligible for the Early Dog Prize drawing. January 30th is the final day to submit your initial profile edits. And April 7th is the deadline to have your profile complete with all edits finalized that GivingEdge profile coaches tell you to make. All of these dates and deadlines are included in the Big Day of Giving calendar and will be emailed to you again and again in the Bark newsletter. As we said before, we know that it can feel like there's a lot for first-time participants of Big Day of Giving to learn. The best way to do this is to take advantage of the resources available to you as a BDOG participant, and most importantly, set realistic expectations for your first time participating. There are also important non-monetary ways to be successful on Big Day of Giving. Maybe for you that means engaging new donors or increasing your social media presence. BDOG is about more than just how much money your organization raises. Big Day of Giving can be a great way to build your fundraising muscles, but it also takes time and donor cultivation. It is important to assess your capacity when deciding how much you can take on when setting your goals for Big Day of Giving. There are many resources available to help you if you are struggling and don't know where to begin. Make sure to take advantage of them.
Before we go much further, we want to highlight these key resources, which we'll refer to again and again, and which contain all of what we're covering in this presentation and more. Look for the user guide, which is a searchable encyclopedia of Big Day of Giving information and tips, and the 8-week work plan, which is a helpful tool to strategize your Big Day of Giving campaign, in the nonprofit resource page that is linked to in the description below this video and is always available via the Big Day of Giving website.
Other resources that you can find in the Nonprofit Resource Toolkit include the BARC e-newsletter, which is the official Big Day of Giving e-newsletter for nonprofit participants and supporters, which includes important information about BDOG opportunities and deadlines. Please make sure that, at the very least, your organization's lead contact is signed up to receive these and stay in the loop. The Facebook Learning Community is a place for you to ask questions and get tips, updates, and answers from other participants and from the BDOG team. In the toolkit, you will also find a link to the mentor search. BDOG mentors are experienced fundraisers and past BDOG participants who are passionate about helping other fundraisers succeed. On the mentor page, you can find their emails and reach out to them individually. They will be hosting a series of mentor coffee chats from January to April on a variety of different topics, also providing you a chance to ask them questions in a group setting. We encourage you to reach out to them. In the BDOG calendar found in the toolkit, you will also find links to join the community office hours, which the BDOG team hosts throughout the months leading up to Big Day of Giving to answer any questions you might have about participation. In the calendar, you will also find details about the boot camps, which are 4 separate training sessions held throughout February and March to strengthen your organization's donor engagement and development, board engagement, marketing, and partnership and collaboration skills. These trainings are led by topic experts. This year, we plan to follow a hybrid model for boot camps with an in-person session held at KVIE in Sacramento that will also be streamed virtually. We will be hosting a monthly happy hour networking event every month between January and April to give you a chance to connect with other local nonprofits. Finally, as we mentioned before, the GivingEdge coaches are available for one-on-one office hours in December and January, and you can also find the user guide and 8-week work plan in the toolkit as well.
So in addition to all those resources available, you also have access to the Big Day of Giving Marketing Toolkit, which is your one-stop shop for turnkey items to help you promote your participation in Big Day of Giving to your audiences. Available now, we have Big Day of Giving 2023 logos with the May 4th date on them. We also have save the date graphics, which are great for social media or putting into e-newsletters or print newsletters, just to invite your audiences to mark their calendars and to be ready to give and have fun on May 4th, 2023. As Big Day of Giving approaches, we'll release a full library of social media graphics, including graphics in non-English languages. We'll also release customizable social media graphics and print media files, and share templates for social media and email messages, and so much more. And if there's anything you'd like to see in the marketing toolkit that we don't offer, please email us and let us know. We're always looking for great ideas and are happy to do what we can to make them happen. Mirroring national trends, we know that nonprofits led by BIPOC leaders, and that's short for Black, Indigenous, and people of color, typically receive less funding for their organizations despite high quality outcomes and strong relationships in the communities they serve. So in keeping with the Foundation's goals of strengthening our nonprofit sector and building a more equitable community, we'd like to help change that. So we're really excited to announce the newest project tied to Big Day of Giving this year. It's called Cultivate, a cohort program designed to support BIPOC-led organizations with budgets under $500,000, as well as individuals who identify as BIPOC who are serving as team leads this year. Both new and returning organizations are invited to apply for the cohort, which will be offered at no cost to participants. Folks who join will enjoy monthly peer mentoring and guided workshops to support their Big Day of Giving success in a safe and welcoming space where their unique strengths, challenges, and concerns are honored and addressed. The program will be led by a Big Day of Giving veteran and super great fundraising professional, Marissa, who's pictured here at a Big Day of Giving 2022 celebration. Now, everyone who knows Marissa knows she brings a warm, engaging approach to teaching fundraising fundamentals that is culturally sensitive and community-centered. So if you're interested in learning more about Cultivate and signing up to participate, please click the link in the description of this video.
We will now talk briefly about different types of donations as well as a variety of donor engagement features that are available through GivingEdge and that you can take advantage of on Big Day of Giving. You can receive and track donations made during Big Day of Giving to count towards your total raised in a number of ways. To start off, Big Day of Giving donors can make gifts through the website at bigdayofgiving.org or givingedge.org. Donors can make gifts towards your campaign beginning with early giving on April 20th through midnight on May 4th. The minimum donation size is $15 and the website accepts all major credit cards. Gifts made on the website are subject to a 5.2% fee for security and processing. However, donors are offered the option to help offset the cost of fees by increasing their donation this percentage. And we have found consistently over the years that they do this overwhelmingly. As you can see, in 2022, 87% of donors chose to increase their donations to help offset the cost of fees. You can also report any offline gifts that you receive during Big Day of Giving to best capture and represent your donors' generosity. Offline gifts are gifts made outside of GivingEdge, including checks, cash, or donations made through other websites. We will have more information about how to enter these gifts to count towards your total raised as BDOG approaches. Finally, fund holders at the Sacramento Region Community Foundation and the YOLO Community Foundation can make gifts directly from their charitable funds to support your Big Day of Giving campaigns, which are counted towards your totals. GivingEdge also offers a variety of different donor engagement tools. Before we introduce these, we want to say again that it's not required for you to use any of these features if you do not have the capacity to coordinate them, but they are available to you if you want. Think of it as a menu of choices. Matching funds are one of your major supporters or business partners' pledges to match donations that you receive up to a certain amount. It is a great incentive for donors to know that their gifts are being doubled or more when they make a donation to your nonprofit. Peer-to-peer campaigns, or fundraising pages as we call them, are an opportunity for your supporters to fundraise on your behalf. It's the same idea as a jogathon or a Facebook fundraiser. Your supporters can build a fundraising page, set a goal, and ask their personal networks to donate to your organization on their behalf. There will be a training in March to review how to create these pages on the website. Finally, throughout the day on May 4th, we'll award a variety of prizes to boost the gifts that you receive from donors. We'll announce the complete list of prizes in early spring, but as we just shared, you can work on winning the Early Dog Prize now. We will now briefly cover what the timeline will look like between now and May. To begin, we recommend heading to the nonprofit resource page and bookmarking the BDOG2023 calendar, which has all the important dates and deadlines and links that you will need to participate in BDOG events. We will now go through what will be happening and what we suggest you work on leading up to May 4th. Although we recommend attending as many events as possible and using these items to guide your work, only the items in red are required for participation. So between now and January, you will obviously want to make sure that you have registered for Big Day of Giving and that you submit your initial GivingEdge profile edits for review. We also recommend that you start making a list of your current donors and engaging your social media audiences if this is not something that you do already. Although there are opportunities to solicit new donors on Big Day of Giving, your existing donors and supporters are an important part of your fundraising audience. You may want to make sure that they hear from you more often than once a year when you ask for donations. Tell them about your work and its impact and inspire them by your activities. We will also have community office hours GivingEdge office hours, mentor coffee chats, and networking happy hours to provide you an opportunity to ask questions, connect, and learn from others. Remember, if you do not know where to begin, there are a lot of resources to turn to. After you submit your organization's initial GivingEdge profile edits, your GivingEdge coaches will reach out to you if there are any follow-up edits that they suggest or require that you make to your profile. If a GivingEdge coach reaches out to you, please be timely in responding so that they can help with any questions you have. We will also continue to have mentor coffee chats and happy hours every month through April if you need help and want to learn to connect with others. As well, as we mentioned earlier, we will also have boot camps in February through March on different topics that are relevant to your organization's success in Big Day of Giving and year-round. Attending these boot camps is not required, but we highly recommend it. This is around the time that you will also want to start beginning to think about how you plan to engage your supporters and community and get them excited about your participation in Big Day of Giving. You will also want to consider reaching out to close partners and supporters to solicit matching funds, but again, this is only if you have the capacity to handle this. You can still run a successful campaign without the use of matching funds. In March, you will also want to make sure that you're finishing up making all of the edits that are required for your GivingEdge profile, as they need to be done by April 7th to participate in Big Day of Giving 2023. You will also want to make sure that you start looking at the 8-week work plan, which is a helpful tool to use in March and April to strategize for Big Day of Giving in the 2 months leading up to May 4th. Part of the reason that Big Day of Giving is so powerful is because of the time-limited giving window that creates a sense of urgency for people who support your work in the community, and the work plan can help you use that to your organization's advantage. You will also want to start reminding your board that Big Day of Giving is approaching and consider having them use an individual development plan, or IDP, which is a way for them to figure out how they plan to help support your organization be successful during Big Day of Giving. You can find the template for the IDP in the Nonprofit Resource Toolkit. In April, you will also want to continue to follow the 8-week work plan and use it as your guide for planning donor engagement leading up to Big Day of Giving. You will also want to remind donors that they can start donating early starting on April 20th. You can also encourage your staff, board members, volunteers, and donors to create fundraising pages, but remember this is an optional feature and is not required to run a successful campaign. Before May 4th, we also want to make sure that you have a contingency plan in place in case anything does not go as planned. We're fully confident in our platform, but sometimes things can go wrong. Technology fails, weather can cancel events, or, global pandemics can occur and foil our well thought out plans. We want to make sure that we have a backup plan to redirect donors and supporters in case things change. We will have a guide to contingency planning for the day available in the Nonprofit Resource Toolkit as we get closer. We also want to make sure that we send out last-minute reminders and get lots of rest. But the main thing you should do is remember to have fun. Big Day of Giving is a fun day where our community comes together to celebrate and uplift the important work that your organization does. And don't forget to also celebrate your hard work after the day. You earned it. And then thank everyone who supported your campaign with donations, time, energy, and expertise. Finally, you will want to make sure to keep an eye out for your e-check that will be sent to you no later than June 30th. The Foundation uses e-checks to distribute the money you made on Big Day of Giving via donations made on the website. E-checks are safe and secure and allow us to compile all of your donations, prizes, and additional incentive money you receive during Big Day of Giving and send them efficiently in one check. You tell us who on your team should receive the e-check by submitting the email through the settings area on the back end of GivingEdge under distribution settings. Then, when the e-check is ready, that person will receive an email with a link to open the check. Once you do, it can be printed and deposited just like you would a normal check. If you have any questions about this, check the FAQs linked to in the user guide. While we work to get the funds out to you as soon as possible, remember you will receive this no later than June 30th, 2023. Before we close for the day, we have some final tips, thoughts, and reminders to share. Some final reminders and important dates to remember. January 9th is the last day to register for Big Day of Giving 2023. January 30th is the deadline to submit your initial profile edits, although we recommend that you submit them early and maybe even get a prize if you submit them for Early Dog. April 7th is the deadline to complete all your required GivingEdge edits that the profile review coaches request. April 20th is the first day your donors can start making early gifts, and of course, May 4th is Big Day of Giving. Make sure to check out the full BDOG calendar with details and registration links in the nonprofit resources. We also want to reiterate, as there is always confusion about this every year, that GivingEdge is a year-round resource where donors can learn and donate to nonprofits anytime, not just on Big Day of Giving. Because of this, we want to make sure that you do not start instructing donors to donate too early. Only gifts made during early giving, beginning on April 20th through Big Day of Giving, will be counted towards your BDOG total. Also remember that if you have any questions, there are a lot of places you can turn to. You can ask a mentor, look in the user guide and other resources in the toolkit, get ideas from the Facebook Learning community, or even email us at bdog@sacregcf.org.
As a final note, we want to share that because of the large number of participants, we are not able to accept phone calls or visits to the Foundation's office related to Big Day of Giving. We are a small team, so please email us if you have any questions and we will be sure to respond quickly. Thank you for your understanding.
Thank you all so much for your interest in being part of this special event and for the important work that you do in the community. We are excited to work with you this year.